Ready for another podcast of Chatting Shit with Shan. A few knowledge bombs will be dropped here and there, but for the bulk of it, it's probably going to be me chatting shit. But we're here with Crystal. Crystal is
Hello.
an incredible entrepreneur that I love talking business with. We work together. She's mentee as well, but she's absolutely flying and has been flying for a long time. So Crystal,
Hello.
thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me. Everyone says that, right? Thanks for having me.
So today, I really want to dive into a thing that I think I overcome a lot with mentees and kind of like a limiting belief is they start out as coaches, right? We started out as coaches.
Yep.
We are coaches because we're great at coaching. We wasn't great at business. So a lot of the people that come to me are like, I'm a great yoga instructor. I'm a great fitness coach. Great at what they do. They're not great at business, and that's okay. And they don't have to be great at business.
Yeah.
But what have we done? We've invested into people who are great at business, who have proven that they have the strategies that work, that are living the life that we've been inspired to live, to find out how. And I think that's what it's about. It's knowing that you don't have to be a business expert to grow your business. You need to find a business expert who has already grown businesses to leverage your skill set as the yoga instructor, as the fitness coach. Because if you don't, then you're doing everyone a disservice. And I believe, if you are gifted and you are talented, then reach more people. You have a more obligation to reach as many people as you can to be able to impact and help them.
Yeah.
I believe that's right.
Yeah, absolutely. And if I think back to when I started business or my first ever business or when I first ever went self-employed, and I think, God, how far I've come now, which I'm very grateful for, but I've learned that I've had to master certain skills to get there. And the quickest way to master those skills is through personal development and having mentors, right? And I've had a lot of mentors, and I've learned something different from each mentor that I've had. So a lot of the time you hear mentors talk about shiny object syndrome, right?
Oh, huge.
Which I get, but for me, changing mentors, that's not what that's been. It's been that I've worked with mentors in the past that I've learned so much that I've got to a point where I feel like I'm not learning anything more from that mentor. And then I've had another mentor that's taught me even more. But where 100%. I'm going with this is those are the ways that I believe my business is successful today because I've invested into getting the knowledge, like you've just said, that I needed to get. That makes sense?
Absolutely. It's the right mentor at the right time.
Yeah.
Since the age of 18, I've always had a mentor. I'm 27 now. I did not stay with my first mentor, but they were so valuable.
That blows my mind that you're 27 because you are a massive inspiration to people. Like, look where you are now at the age of 27. Like, I just have to drop that in there because that's incredible. Like, you're 27 years old and you've had multiple successful businesses, and you're now helping other business owners go from 6 figures to 7 figures. Like, that's incredible. That's incredible.
Do you know what? I've always hid my age. Whenever it's been my birthday and I've done a little birthday post, love the comments and likes on a birthday. I've always hid my age. This year I was like, do you know what? I'm 27, I'm proud I'm 27. I'm coaching people who are double my age, and I'm okay with that because they're happy to invest into me. I don't need to pretend I'm any older, I'm any wiser than I am. My results do the speaking, and I believe the businesses that I've grown does the speaking. So yeah, I'm actually proud of it now. Whereas before, I've always been a little bit insecure that, oh, damn, I'm the youngest at the table and I need to try and act up. Whereas now I'm just like, I'm young, I'm scatty, but I'm also knowledgeable.
But
still chatting shit.
It's so true what you've said because, like, I get it, like, why you would have hid your age because people think, well, what does she know? She's 27. But you're not like a normal 27-year-old, if there is a normal 27-year-old. But what I mean is because you've done the work mentally, spiritually, emotionally, you've invested into those areas of your life, which we're going to talk about, aren't we? And this is why, compare you with somebody else your age who perhaps hasn't done the work, and that's okay. That's their journey. Everyone's on their own journey. But it's the work that you've done that's given you the skills that you've got now in yourself, emotionally, mentally, physically, and learning and constantly learning. And that's how you're now like the person that people are coming to. They're older than you. Age is just a number, right? Like, they're coming to you because of your development that you've done and the knowledge that you've got and the skills that you've had. And like, how old were you when you had your business doing $500,000?
23.
23, like that's insane. Like what like imagine where you're going to be in another 10 years time. Like, I'm I had to think how old I am then. I keep saying I'm 40 next year, but I'm 38 at the minute. I'm 39 in September. And I'm okay with my age, but I've had I've had more years than you. So imagine where you're going to be when you're 40. Like, that's fucking exciting.
Yeah. Do you know what? I think you've hit on two things there. One of the biggest values that I have is respecting time. If I'm ever unhappy, if I ever get a feeling that I need to make a change, whether it's environment, whether it's the people, whether it's the mentor I have at the time, if I ever feel like I'm called to make a change, no matter how uncomfortable it is, even if, the people that I look up to would advise me, things are okay, stay as you are. I'm like, yeah, they're okay. I'm comfortable. Like, I strive to always be uncomfortable. And I actually feel calm in chaos. And whenever things are calm, I'm just like, I'm not used to that. I'm so used to being uncomfortable majority of the time that when things are calm, I'm like, it feels stale. It's the only way I can describe it. Like, my life feels stagnant. And I'm like, nothing's exciting me now. Like, I need to be doing something. I need to just I call it like, my family call me a cat because they're like, I swear you got 9 lives. The amount of times you just take a running jump and leap of faith and you land on your feet. And I'm like, because every time I make a decision, it's like I burn the bridge to go back to where I was. Like, I'm willing to go all in. And Tony Robbins says a great quote that always lived by me. And it was like, if you want to get to the island, burn a boat. And I'm like, do you know what? If I'm going to make a decision.
Oh, mic drop. That's powerful. That's powerful.
So now, like, if I'm going to make a decision, don't just dip a toe in because it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be hard.
Yeah.
And if you just got a toe in, the moment that you start to, get a little bit of anxiety or have people doubt you, that toe's back out and you're back in safety. With me, it's
nothing
like...
Nothing grows in safety, right?
Nothing grows in safety. So I'm like, okay, it's been on my mind for a while. And we're spiritual, right? People who watch this maybe think I'm voodoo, but we're spiritual. If a decision is continuously on my mind, I'll ensure that the moment that I do decide to make the decision, I'm well rested. I fueled my body continuously. Like, I'm big on just like looking after my actual physical health.
Yep.
I haven't, been out drinking or anything like that. I'm in a very calm state of mind.
You haven't been out drinking?
It's not like me. And then before bed, I'll just ask a question. I'll just be like, just when I wake up, I want to know an answer. Whatever comes to me in the morning, I'm going to like act upon that decision.
Nice.
And I wake up and a lot of the time I'm like, that thought's still there. It's scary, but it's still there.
And then you act on it.
And then I'm like, right, well, what am I going to do? And then I think of my future self, 8-year-old Shannon. Would she be proud of the decision I'm about to make? Or would she regret that I've continued living the life that I have and could have been, would have been, should have been? And at that point, I think, do you know what? 8-year-old Shannon, even if it goes wrong, would just think, you gave it a good crack. You didn't let fear hold you back.
Mate, I think it does go wrong. And that's the difference, isn't it, with you and I and
that's
other people that are successful.
We're cats.
But it is true. It's like so many people don't like follow their dreams or go after, the growth because they're too scared of what happens if it goes wrong. But you do fail along the way. Things do go wrong. And it's the journey that makes you. So like, I can put my hands up and say, I've had a lot of shit. And, I've had a business once that crumbled into, and it was the most stressful time of my life. Like, I didn't want to be here. It was so bad and it all went wrong. But I've never given up and I've learned from that. And the mistakes that I made then, a lot of it come down to trusting the wrong people. But also there were mistakes like, I own everything. I'm responsible for everything that happens in my life.
But, true.
I've made, it's those mistakes. And what I'm saying by that is like, when people they keep that toe in the boat, so to speak, what you said, and then they'll never grow, they'll never get there. But like, you've got to do these things. You've got to get out there and...
It's knowing that failing is part of the process. It's crazy, right? Because I've always believed I'm going to get to where I want to be. I've never had a doubt.
Belief is a huge part of it as well.
And maybe I'm just grateful and blessed that I've had that belief. It's not that I haven't ever felt nervous, scared, doubted myself, but I've always thought eventually I will be where I want to be. I've always expected it to be freaking hard.
Here's a question to help other people. Like, why do you think you've always had that belief? What's given you that belief, or how have you managed to hold on to that belief even when things have gone, against you?
I think I call it brainwashing. Like, every day I'm priming my mind. I listen to audiobooks, I listen to podcasts, I listen to motivational videos on YouTube. If I have a spare minute, I'm like, let's watch a YouTube video of someone that inspires me. Let's read if I'm going for a walk, let's learn. So I'm around people that have achieved great things, and I'm like, they can do it, why can't I? And I'm watching people who...
That's the mic drop there as well, isn't it? If somebody else can do something, there's no reason why we can't.
Yeah, and then the more things I've said I'm going to do and have done, the more I'm like, shit, this happens. I've then got more confident in myself, because I'm like, I said I was going to be a professional bodybuilder at 18. By 21, I'd achieved it. And I was like, oof, like I said that and it became a reality. Like my family were laughing at me like, Shan, a bodybuilder, come on, mate. And then suddenly it's like, oh, wait, I done that?
And just to put that into perspective, like I only found this out the other day from you. Like, it's not that you just became a bodybuilder. You won the first...
I won the first ever British finals for the wellness.
Like, pro card, like, at 21.
And there was like 42 girls on stage. Like, it wasn't, we didn't get lucky. It was like, I dedicated since the age of 21, or 18 to 21. It's the only thing I thought about. Every single action every day was, how can I get better? Studying other bodybuilders, investing into bodybuilding coaches. I had some incredible bodybuilding coaches. I would drive the other side of the country to go to a posing session. I would drive for literally like 4 hours there, 4 hours back, just to go to the best posing coach.
So that's another...
Do you know what I also done? I invested into a ballet coach, and
a belly dancer. What
would you call that? Like a belly,
professional
belly dance.
Yeah. I thought you said belly dancer. I was like, what?
Just because my posing coach was like, you can't walk in heels. Picture me, I've come from playing football, basketball, like then I've got into bodybuilding. These aren't girly sports.
You're so girly though. That's so funny.
So I've come from playing football, right?
Yeah.
To then getting into bodybuilding, to then suddenly wearing a sparkly bikini, wearing heels. Like I was walking like funny. Like I was bowling it. And she was just like, Shan.
Like me in your heels the other day.
and like I've always had coaches and said to them, be straight up with me. Don't worry about hurting my feelings. You'll hurt my feelings by not giving me the truth, because the truth will set me free and make me better. Just tell me what needs to be done and I'll do it. So she was like, look, you can't walk in heels. And I was like, I know. I feel like a ball in a china shop. So she was like, right, okay, go to a ballet dancer. They're really gracious and learn. I invested for months, probably about 8 months leading up to the British finals. I hadn't even qualified for the British finals at this point. And I was learning from her one-on-one just how to walk in heels, how to be more gracious walking. No one saw that. No one else was doing that.
Because you mastered. I
was like, how can I get
a
1% edge?
Master.
It was like, I'm okay with training. I'm okay with putting myself through the physical pain, the discipline, the being hungry, going for my steps. No problem. But like walking in heels did not come naturally to me. Who is the most gracious person I know? A dancer, a ballet dancer. How do I pay them? How do I get them to help me?
Do you know what? That's just made me think of like the example of that and what you were talking about of like, what's the thing that you need to master? So like people are great at coaches, for example, or great at the thing that they do in their business, but they don't know how to like market and sell and things like that, right? So we're like, how do you learn these skills? And the example is lately, like for me, I'm now helping other people be good at sales because I had to master that skill to grow my business. So I'd got the delivery side of it to a fantastic place and then mentored somebody else to then deliver my product or my service. So then it's like, okay, what's going to be the next thing in my business that's going to drive it forward? We'd got the lead generation.
Yeah, it's going to be branded now.
Yeah.
Like continuously like legacy brand.
Yeah. And so for me, I had to go and learn. I had to get uncomfortable, going back to what you said as well. I had to get really uncomfortable and get good at selling my product. Because as we always speak about as well, like me selling, like people cringe at sales, right? And they hate sales and like they think sales is a bad thing. But I'm always like, I knew that I needed to get good at sales to help the clients that I'm helping.
If you can't sell, you can't help.
Exactly. And it's for that, like we always say, it's for the highest good of everyone involved, right? So me getting really good at sales, I had to go, it's all looping in with what you said, but like I had to get uncomfortable because I was like, I don't want to do these calls. I don't want to do sales calls at first. But now I've got so good at them with, in the way that's for the highest good of the customer that I'm helping these women So in my business, like High Performance Executive, we're helping them to, you know, take back control of their health and prioritize themselves again. If I hadn't learnt this skill or invested in it to learn it better, I wouldn't be helping more people.
Exactly that.
And it comes down to that, doesn't it?
Yeah, I literally had a call with a mentee maybe yesterday, and I could see she was flustered. And I was like, where's the frustration coming from? Let's dive into this.
Was it me? No. That was yesterday.
I have many of these calls.
New level, new devil.
Like for me, it's like, you're feeling emotion, let's dive in. Let's explore it. It's giving us a message. You're feeling frustrated with your
Like
business
that.
right now, right? Cool. Why is that? Because I know you've given me the strategy and I should be executing, but I'm not. Cool.
Yep.
Why not? Let's dive into that. What's holding you back? And for her, it was the outreach. Well, I'm messaging people and you know, I'm not getting as many responses, and then it's just like demotivated me, or just, you know, long short of it, it felt rejection. It felt like almost beggy that she's messaging people and no one's responding, right?
Yeah.
Cool, no problem. And then I said to her, how quickly do you want to grow and get to where you want to be? Because the strategies are proven, they're tested, we will go to where you want to be. But only at the rate at which you're willing to be uncomfortable. Your business will only grow to the point that you're willing to grow, because you are the business, right? At this point, you are the business. So I'm like, every time you feel uncomfortable, message me, tell me, explain the emotion that you feel, but get it done anyway, because it's getting results. The people that you have taken on up to this point has come from the outreach, has come from you putting yourself out there with your marketing. Was it uncomfortable? Yes. Did you get a result from it? Yes. So what does that mean? We need to do it so much that it doesn't become uncomfortable anymore.
Yeah.
And that like, for me, I've been in so many uncomfortable positions. And every time I'm just like, look, I can choose whether I call this nerves or excitement. It's a choice. I get the same sort of shaky feeling. I get the same sort of buzz. And it's like, am I really nervous about what I'm about to do? Potentially, yes. Do I want to label it as nerves? Or do I want to say, do you know what, I'm buzzing. I always say, I'm buzzing, mate.
Bring it on.
And do you know why I say I'm buzzing? Because if I say I'm buzzing, I'm smiling. I'm like, I'm ready for it. If I'm nervous, what's my body language going to do if I'm nervous?
Totally. So it's an emotional state, isn't it?
Yeah, how am I going to be sitting if I'm nervous on this podcast? Everything changes. No,
Yeah.
I'm buzzing, mate.
You are buzzing, mate.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
It's like
Straight away, I'm like this.
I feel the same nerves as everybody else. I refuse to label it
Yeah.
as nerves. I'm just excited. I'm excited to be alive.
And what you've just said as well, like we were having a conversation earlier about outreach, weren't we? And I was using an example with you. And I think this will help people as well. Like, one thing that we pick up on is a lot of coaches and clients, like they don't like doing outreach, right? Because they think that they're spamming people. Now, I'm going to give you an example of like the strategy that we use within my business is all outreach, and it's very successful. Like we're booking like 10 calls a week.
And it's cold. Let's add
And
that.
it's cold,
right?
So we're booking like 10 calls a week by a system that I've created, and it's working so well. And it's with my ideal clients, and then I'm getting on a call with them. Now, we are constantly messaging these women, probably maybe as much as like 10 or 12 times until they respond to us. Now, people would see that as like spammy, okay? But this is where I'm going to tell you how it's not. Because this is actually for the highest good of all, because we enrolled a client, okay, onto our program from messaging her probably about 8 times, working with him for her within the second month. We're on a call with her. Her husband comes on the call and he actually says to us, I want to thank you so much for being so persistent with my wife, because if you hadn't of, she wouldn't be smiling from ear to ear like she is now with the results that she's had, feeling amazing. And I'm like,
I love it.
How, like, I've got all the goosebumps.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
like, how do you see how I mean? Like, people are like, oh, I can't message people, but it's
But
like,
do you know what I also believe? What it's different with us. You know, this isn't a big-headed way. This is a reality. We have the results that back this up. We're good at what we do.
Yeah,
we're freaking
true.
great at what we do. Like, I know if somebody works with me, I know they're going to be super happy. So if I can see somebody that I know I can help, then I'm going to be persistent, because I know I'm going to add value to their life if they need it. If you don't, no problem. Let's connect. Let's be friends. I'm cool with that.
So
there might be a time in the future you need me. You might have a friend that needs me. I'm still willing to connect with you and just be a normal human being, to give you some love, support on your posts. And that is my genuine intention. Let's connect. But you know what else? I know I can bring value into your life and into your business. So if it does go further, I'm here for it. And if it doesn't, we're friends. And I've made them, and I've connected. All right, we're not friends. It might be a bit deep.
That's possibly why, you know, some business owners, I was going to say coaches, but it's not just coaches that you help, it's all business owners. That's possibly why they don't like the outreach and they see it as spammy, because they're not believing in the product that the service that they're giving and the results that they get. So like you've just said, we both know that we've got an absolute solid program. So for me, it's a no-brainer that I'm messaging people that if they do need their help, they're going to raise their hand and have a conversation with me. If I then have a conversation with them and generally they don't need my help, you know, nothing's lost. But for the people that do and they're like, actually, yeah, I do need that. And then it's the same with selling. So like, if I'm on a call with somebody and I'm not trying to sell to them because I have absolute clarity and confidence in the ability of what I'm selling them, it's a no-brainer. They're telling me they've got a problem and I've got the solution that's going to make their life so much better. Like you with the mentoring, like when you're speaking to somebody, right? It's an absolute no-brainer to do it genuinely.
Genuinely. You're going to put money in to gain a skill set that's going to always be with you. Education, it's always going to be with you.
And you're the table.
And you're making a return on the money you're putting in. Like if someone said to me, well, this is what mentors have said to me, Shan, put X amount in, I'm going to guarantee X amount out, plus all of the support and education I'm going to provide you. Shake your hand off, mate. As long as I know you can back it up and I know you're going to stick to your word and be there for me and you've got client results to prove that, shake your hand off, because I'm learning, which is, you know, knowledge is the greatest gift of all, right? As long as you execute.
Yeah.
So not only am I learning, I'm also making money back on the money I've put in. It's a safe bet.
Yeah. And it's the same then, isn't it? Outreach and sales. Like if you believe in the power of, and I think it's Alex Hormozy that talks about it all the time. He's like, when you're speaking to somebody about the service that you sell and the program, like it should be an absolute no-brainer that they wouldn't, like, why wouldn't they want to do it if you can generally give them the solution to that problem?
Yeah, and I think this reverse all the way back to, if you know you've got an absolute no-brainer offer that is providing value, loads of clients are happy, everyone's singing the praises, then why would you not message somebody that you know you can genuinely help?
Exactly.
And transform their life. You're doing, it's a moral obligation, in my opinion.
And this is why what I love about you and the business that you've created is you are picky with who you work with for that reason. You will only work with people who are, you know, have a genuinely good product and are doing good things in the world. So, you know, we've spoken before about an example of clients that you've had in the past that have just been interested in making money and then not delivering it. And you're like, I'm not going to work with you.
I've genuinely refunded recently. What was it? Last week. I know I laugh about it. It's not funny, but I refunded thousands because I'm sorry, we're on a call. I ask you about your clients. You're not really interested. What client results are you getting? I can't teach you to be a great coach, but I can make great people do great things. If you're not a great coach, I'm not willing to leverage your skill set and scale it, because what skill set do you have? I'm sorry. This is the reality of it. And it's unethical on my behalf. And if I'm not able to say no and to let people go who aren't right, then I'm not doing what's right. And that affects then how I am on a podcast. I'm not speaking from my truth. How I am on a sales call, when I'm outreaching to people, clients that I speak with, I have to make sure that my actions align with the words I say. That's when I can speak with conviction. That's when I can look people in the eyes and say, I truly want to work with great people doing great things.
Yeah.
And I'm not willing to, you know, just take money for the sake of it, because there's no longevity to that.
Yeah.
If the people I work with do not get the results with their clients and also their business, I have no longevity to my brand.
And this is what makes
it's short-sighted to do that.
And this is what makes you, in my opinion, you know, different to a lot of other things that are out there, because it's not about just taking people's money, which, you know, I've been not a victim, I'm not a victim, but I've been part of mentorships in the past and quite recently. And I'm not saying anything bad about anyone, but this is just my experience, is it has just been about the money. And as soon as I've paid money, there's been no interest, and the service hasn't been what was promised. And that's the difference. Like, you're not just about taking somebody's money. You're literally about like, okay, can I help this person? Are you doing good? So it's almost like there's a lot of tick boxes that you will tick off before you decide to work with that person. Is that right?
Absolutely. Like, I'm looking for the Shannon At 18. What I said to my mentor...
But they don't have to be 18. She's not just 18-year-old lady.
No, but like, if someone had spoken to me then and just been like, what do you want to do? Who do you want to help? It would have been like, this is what I want to do. I just wanted to be the best at what I do and help as many people as possible.
Yeah.
Genuinely, truly, that's what I wanted to do. And I was obsessed with that. So just help me help more people. That's all I wanted from a mentor, and that's what they done. But when I speak to somebody and it's like, yeah, I want to be able to live this life, so I don't want to work with too many people. I don't want to, work too much. Or it's like, okay, well, your clients are a burden to you then. You don't actually want to put any work in. You want me to just magic clients and money that aren't going to actually need anything from you. I'm sorry, I'm not about that.
Yeah. And do you know what I feel? I will always say the one thing that I believe has built, one of the biggest things that I believe has built my success in the business that I've had is that I've always been obsessed with the client results. That's been the first thing for me. The client's results and making sure that what I'm offering and what I'm selling and what I'm delivering is the best it can be. Because if you've got a good product, right, your business, you're going to do well. And that's why I think, in my opinion, that you like working with me, because
absolutely,
I like yesterday I send you a message, don't I, that I've got from a new client who's like thanking us so much for the results that she's had in a very short space of time because she felt amazing at her son's graduation. And
I don't know what's any greater, right? You went back to when I was 23 and my business was making $500,000. That's great. But when I was also working with people who had eating disorders and their mum was sending me a message on Christmas Day saying, thank you so much for what you've done for my daughter this year. We didn't think she was going to be here on Christmas Day with us.
Whoa, that's huge.
Like goosebumps. Like I'm still in contact with her mum now. It's like I've made it so that her daughter was still at Christmas with her when they thought, like she had spent 6 months in hospital, come out and just, falling back into our ways. They were like, we would send her back to hospital, but she didn't want to go. And I was like last resort.
Yeah.
So when they invested, it wasn't her investing, it was her parents. So I was like, I'll do everything I can. Like, we've got a team, yes. We've got a qualified team, yes. I'll do everything that I can. And was able to help her. And it's like, even the coaches, that I had as part of the team, they still say to me now, like, we saved so many people's lives. Genuinely, truly. And I just think, like, when you're getting those results and people are messaging you, it is the greatest buzz of all.
Totally.
It's more, for me, it's more of a buzz knowing I've transformed that person's life than the money coming in. But because of that, that's why the money comes in.
Yeah, when you do a great job.
That's the crazy thing about it. You do a good job, you obsess about doing the very best that you can and becoming the best that you can. Like, I read a quote the other day, it was like, if you don't think and you're not working to be the very best at what you do, maybe it's not for you.
Like that.
I agree with it. I 100% agree with it, because I don't set out in any of my ventures to not be the absolute best. And when I say the best, it's not because my business is making the most money or more money than any other business. It's everything from start to finish, they get in the best.
Yeah. And that's totally true. That's something I review constantly in the business. And I've got a team working for me, and I'm always calling them out on like, you're doing a great job, but how can we be better? And that's the thing, isn't it? Like, somebody who genuinely cares about like the results that they get. And this is why you only work with these type of people. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm buzzing. I'm buzzing when their business is growing and they're getting business wins. I'm buzzing when their clients are getting wins.
For the highest good of everyone involved.
Mate, the energy. How good is the energy of the team and me and you? Like, every day I feel like I can't even explain it. It's like, It's such a buzz because everyone's buzzing. You have one, I'll call it a bad egg, why not? You have one bad egg that is negative, that is draining me, that is moaning, that is victim mindset. I'm sorry, you could pay me all the money in the world. You're not going to affect my team, the community I have, and my energy every day. You're not worth it, because you lose me so much money in the long run because you've drained me. I then jump on a call. I'm not how I should be. My energy is not where it should be. That affects the next client who doesn't deserve to be affected because you need to go and, deal with some deeper problems.
That leads me nicely onto a question I was going to ask you.
Let's go.
Okay, so you've just mentioned, you said go deal with some deeper problems. Now, your business, mentoring amazing businesses who are doing great things to go from 6 to 7 figures, okay, called the Inner Self Club. And I know that you and I have had a conversation about why it's called the Inner Self Club. So, like, let's just talk about that. Like, share that with me, why that's called the Inner Self Club, and also a little bit about what made you get to that point. I know you've mentioned things about therapy and things like that. So just share some of that with us now.
Yeah, huge. I love it. It's just so in alignment with my values, right? Just so in alignment. Sometimes I feel like I see the world different, and I find it weird that I see the world different, because for me it's just very clear. But I look at overall success in life. That's not the money in your bank or the money you're making monthly. It's how happy you are, how fulfilled you are, what are you contributing to people's lives. That's huge. What are you actually giving, and the impact that you're making? And I think about like real deep shit, like my funeral.
Deep shit.
My funeral. What would people say? I'm so proud that even at 27, there'd be so many people to say, do you know what? She went above and beyond for me. She really helped me. She gave all that she could. They're the things I want to be remembered for. So for me, like, the Inner Self Club is all about becoming someone you're so proud to be. And that isn't how much your net worth is. It's who you are as a person, right? And it's aligned, because the better person you are, the bigger impact you can have. Yes, the more money you'll make. Yes, we'll learn the skill sets that are going to be able to leverage your good intentions and your skill set. But I don't believe you should just leverage without this. Yeah. It's let's grow. Let's grow your business and grow as a person. Then you get to a point where you haven't traded your health for wealth. Who wants to be rich and unhealthy? No. So let's still keep on top of our physical health. Let's still make time to train. Let's still fuel our body. Like, each area of my life where I've created a business, bodybuilding, that was like my physical, we sacrificed the physical health a little bit, but I had those daily...
A little bit.
But when I came out of that, I found that healthy balance.
Yeah.
So the physical health, I still train, I still eat well. The mental wellness program, I went to therapy for 2 years. I invested into therapists, a psychologist. Like, I was so interested in it that I invested because I wanted to understand it on a deeper level. So now the Inner Self Club is about, yes, there's financial growth. I want there to be spiritual growth. I want there to be physical growth, and I want there to be mental growth. That's why it's like I'm developing people that develop businesses, and it all starts from you. Your whole world changes the moment you prioritize yourself and look after yourself and focus on becoming the best person you can be. I freaking love the brand. Look at me. Die hard fan.
What's the quote that you say? I'm here for it, mate. Is that what you say?
I'm here for it. Inner Self Club. I'm here for it.
Okay, I'm here for it, mate. What you just said.
No, but that's why it's about that. And if someone came to me and was just like, A to B, I want to get to this figure. That's possible, of course. I'm sure we're both in situations where we're like, we need to make money, and we do it. But the integrity has to be there. Intentions have to be there. And that's what the Inner Self Club is for me. It's always having a moral obligation and just having strict values.
It's bouncing around. He's hitting the table.
Oh, sorry.
She gets so excited that she's like banging the table. But that's good. You're passionate about what you're talking about. But I'm here for what you've just said, because, as you would say, because like one of the things that I always believe and what I stand for is like, my business now is very successful. It's not, yes, it's about me learning business skills, but it's a massive part of that is the personal development that I've done as well. And that's where you're saying, like, as a mentor, you know, helping people, encouraging them with their own personal development as well as part of it, not just the business skills, right? Yeah,
I watched that Nike Air film, the documentary, and I think it was an agent on there who made lots and lots of money, and he just like he didn't have very good relationships with the people he worked with, right? And it was very abrupt on the phone, banging the phone down, swearing, all of that jazz. At the end of the film, real documentary, end of the film, it was like he was out for dinner by himself at a posh restaurant, lots of money, out for dinner by himself. I don't want to be that person.
No one to share it with.
It is not about how quickly you can climb. It's about enjoying the process and making sure that, you know, you've got good people around you, you're celebrating, you're having fun. And when you get to those goals, you've got people to celebrate with. Or you get to the goal and you've literally tried to cut people left, right and centre. You've, you know, done a disservice to people. You haven't, like, you have no one to celebrate life with. Relationships and connection make us happy. And it's not just about the money you have, it's about your overall happiness.
But I also believe like the way that I think about like my business is it's coming back to this thing about the highest good of all involved, because it's not me growing my business and working on myself to be able to grow that business yes, it's helping our clients. It's also helping the people around my clients, their families, like everyone's getting a better version, but it's also giving amazing opportunities to the people that I give a job to, you know, and like I've got a team that, you know, I've got a couple of assistants that live in a different country where this money that they're earning is huge to them. So it's giving, do you see what I mean? Like it's giving so much to like all of these people, like it's doing good things in the world and like celebrating it with them. So coming back to what you've just said, like, you know, being on your own is like everything I do is for the highest good of everyone involved. That's how I say it. And
success isn't halved when shared.
Yeah.
Everyone can win together and it's a fun game to play.
It's a very fun game to play because like, look at the lives that we're impacting now, like from, you know, from my business and my team, but also the work that we're doing together and
so fun
helping other people, you know, like we've got a client at the moment that we're helping who can't stop smiling because we've given her such value on helping her learn how to get in front of her, you know, to get in front of her dream clients. We've taught her that, but also to be able to learn how to sell to them in a really great way that is for their highest good. And she's just so excited and happy, isn't she?
Yeah. So
and look
true.
at the impact that's having on her life already. And it makes me happy that we're doing that. And you know, I'm just sharing with the things that I've done in my business. And
I think that the biggest thing that holds people back is the things that they don't know.
You don't know what you don't know.
You
and
don't.
Without awareness, you can't change. I say this to my clients every day.
Like,
Without awareness, you can't change.
Yeah. So throwing it back to when you mentioned my age, mate, when I look at what I've invested into myself, like I say, 2 years, and I don't,
2 years.
if I'm finding someone to invest into, I want the best of the best, genuinely, truly. I want the best therapist. I want to, you know, I'm qualifying you to ensure that I'm going to learn a ton. The first time we speak, I want you to blow my mind because I'm like, I'm here for this because I'm about to learn a lot. I'm buckling in. And like when I went to therapy, right, I didn't go because I wanted to just sit there and just like mope about things that I've been through. I went through some traumatic things. So yes, I had some things to talk about for sure. I needed clarity. I needed to close that chapter so I could move forward. I knew I could not move forward in the mental state that I was in because I was having panic attacks. I was having anxiety. I wasn't where I am now. That could have dragged on for such a long period of time that I wouldn't be where I am at 27. Yeah. But I was like, all right, who do I go to help me mentally? There's someone out there who can help. Who is it? Who do I pay? What do I pay them? As soon as I find the solution, boom, let's go. Tell me what I need to do. And I didn't rock up the therapy with tissues. I rocked up with paper and a pen. I'm here as a student. I'm not here as a victim. Shit's happened. Let me get through this. What do I need to do, mate? Tell me. And we'd speak it out. I'd done hypnotherapy for like 6 months. And then I learned loads from my first therapist, one of the best people that ever walked into my life. And then I found another therapist, learned loads from them as well. And it's an ongoing process. And as soon as I, again, find myself in a bit of a rock and a hard place, okay, let's speak about it. And when I went to therapy, it was a tabooed subject. I remember feeling embarrassed, but knowing it was the right thing. Thinking, I don't want to tell anybody. I'm going to be judged. People are going to think I'm crazy.
People have a different perception of therapy. They think therapy
I'm talking
is for
4 years
people
ago.
They think therapy is for people that are really like struggling, and I think ego stops people. But therapy,
it's like you're admitting you've got a problem. But I was like, what was I, 23? Yeah. My business. If you looked at my financial success of my business, you'd be like, she's cracked the code. She must be happy. Inside, broken. Absolutely broken. It was like, that's why I think my whole mindset shifted with money, because it's like, I have money. Am I happy? Okay, there's deeper things here. And if someone, it's a very cliche to say, right? But it's true. And once you've experienced it, you're like, well, you know, it's not freaking millions, but it was enough for me to realize it's more than I expected, but I expected to be happier than this.
Yeah, and I know people that I can see it so clearly who are, they're constantly chasing a higher money. They've got so much money, but and I look at them and I'm like, they've got some deep stuff going on. They're never going to be happy because they're just chasing that thing. But going back to therapy, like I totally agree with you, because you know I went through a very painful breakup at the end of last year, and going to therapy after that has helped me get to heal from it a lot quicker than I would have without it.
Yeah.
And it was going into that and to understand myself more and the things that, you know, I can do better and change so that I don't carry that forward into other relationships and things like that. So totally agree with what you're saying. Like,
I would not be where I am today without the investment that I made into therapy. And I remember when I first went and I told my mum and dad, the only people I told, and they, bless them, they're old school, it's fine, it's old school, right? But they were like, why are you going to a therapist? You don't need a therapist. Talk to us. It's not the same. Like, you're not qualified in telling me what's going on a deeper level. Like, for me, I got myself into such a place because, like, such an overwhelmed state because I didn't understand. I just needed to understand why I was feeling how I did and what I could do to overcome it and prevent it from happening again. That's all I needed. I was just learning about myself. Like, people think therapy is... I think everybody in this world... Do you know what? I'll go as far as saying we should learn what I learned in therapy about myself and how the mind works and emotions and handling it and all of that in school. In school, 100%.
That's a whole
how
other
much
subject,
better
though,
the world
isn't
would
it?
be.
School doesn't teach hardly anything that you need to know.
No. And I think, like, I say this quote all the time, but you're only going to grow, your business will only grow to the level of your own personal development. And that's why I was like, if I want to go to that next level, I need to dive deep into me. Everything that happens in business, we spoke about this earlier, every problem is a you problem. It's not an employee problem. It's not a client problem because we should have been able to prevent the problem from happening. And we are the ones responsible to solve the problem as quickly as possible and then prevent it from happening again in the future. We are full responsibility.